How's it going, ABSC families? This is Coach Mike, and I'm here to introduce the first of our stroke technique videos in a whole series we're going to give you guys for the different strokes. And we're going to start with everybody's favorite, freestyle. So with freestyle, you're going to be looking for a few key skills. We call them level 1 skills and level 2 skills. Now, one of our 11 and 12-year-old swimmers is actually going to be demonstrating coming up here in this video. And she's a state qualified swimmer, a really talented swimmer, but in middle school, will be 13 soon. So you're not looking at a world-class swimmer, you're looking at a swimmer that accurately represents the majority of swimmers on our team. So we're gonna watch her, see her major technique points, and go from there. Now, when we talk about level 1 skills, these are baseline, most important skills you can learn, and it has all to do with stability in the water. The first one we're talking about is your anchors. We call this your anchors because if you can get these right, it holds the foundation of your stroke together. And that is keeping your head still and keeping what we call a whitewater kick behind your body, where you're kicking so fast that there's a steady stream of white water right behind you. Number 2 is we want to make sure freestylers are rolling side to side. A lot of coaches say rotation. I like to say rolling because I think it more accurately represents what's actually happening in the water. And the third is breathing on freestyle, and it goes with the rotation and with keeping your head still. But we want to have one goggle breathing, and what that means is when you're swimming freestyle, you want to breathe to the side and keep one goggle in the water at all times. If you can get that whole goggle underwater, that's even better, but at very least you want the side of your goggle touching the water. Now, what you can see here is this demonstration I was referring, and she was instructed to swim a fast 25 of freestyle, just swimming with good technique but still with urgency, like she's trying to get to the other side of the pool, almost like a racing pace. And so here are the 3 level 1 skills we're looking for. You'll see when she starts out, there you can see a good demonstration of the anchors. You see her head is still, and you see the whitewater kick behind her. There's like a big giant bubble coming right off of her feet there, right behind her. And as she continues swimming, you can see a little bit of slow motion here, and this is where you see that second level 1 skill, the side-to-side rotation. The head is still, she's kicking, but her body is rolling back and forth. And last, as it freezes right here, you've got a great example of the goggle-in breathing. You can see it's like the water is basically right underneath her nose, where one goggle is in the water, one goggle is out of the water, and she's even kind of turning her mouth just a little bit to get it out of the water and get some air. Now, our level 2 skills for freestyle build upon what we learn with the level 1 skills. It's really important that swimmers get the level 1 skills right, because even when we watch elite swimmers, a lot of times they still struggle with some of the very basics that they should have learned when they were younger in the level 1 area. But once you get those skills down, you can really build upon it with the level 2 skills. And so those are, first and foremost, distance per stroke. This is one of the most important things you can learn in freestyle. It's how to be efficient in the water, how to get from point A to point B using fewer strokes but still maintaining your speed. And what you'll look for as swimmers swim with good distance per stroke is getting their fingers forward on the front hand, fingers back on the back hand, and being really patient with their front hand as their other hand comes around to switch places with it on the front, which we'll show you in just a minute on the video. The next thing we want to show is open recovery. Now, there's 2 parts of a stroke. There's the catch portion where you pull, or the pull portion underwater, and then there's the over the top of the water recovery portion of the stroke. And when swimmers are performing the recovery portion of the stroke, we want that to be big and open. It shouldn't look really tight and small like they're jettisoning their hands straight forward. They should have a big open armpit reaching over the top of the water. Now, I'm intentionally not specifying straight arm versus bent arm, because some people swim with straighter arms, some people have bent arms, and some people do both depending on if they're sprinting or swimming distance or whatever it might be. What's important is a big open armpit, hand away from the body, nice and high out of the water, and keeping that stroke open. And last, we want to make sure that swimmers are getting a strong catch. I alluded to this a minute ago, but the catch portion of the stroke is when your hand first goes in the water and you begin to pull. You want to get your fingertips down and make a triangle shape from your fingers to your shoulder. And that's the catch portion of the stroke, which our demonstrator will show us coming up right here. So here's our demonstrator again, and she's actually swimming at a little bit of a slower pace, maybe more like a 500 freestyle pace. But you're able to see the distance per stroke. Her fingers go in the water and they point forward to the wall. And they also point back. The next thing you're going to be able to see when it pauses here is that big open armpit, that open recovery that we're talking about. So her hand is up over the water. You can see her recovery. She's going with a bent elbow recovery there, which makes sense given that she's going at a little bit of a slower pace. But that her armpit is open and she's got that over the top rotational recovery. And the last thing we want to show you is the catch portion of the stroke. So this is her going a little bit faster once again, and you can notice as soon as her hand hits the water, she bends that elbow as she pulls, making the triangle shape underneath her body. And you got to think about it like you're arm wrestling somebody. You don't arm wrestle with a straight arm, you bend your elbow because you get more power that way. It's the same thing when you're swimming, and actually on all 4 strokes you want to bend your elbows as you pull. So you can see that clearly on her freestyle there, that bent elbow catch underneath her body. So thanks for watching our freestyle video. Hopefully that was helpful and you can take some notes and feedback from that and apply that with your own stroke, or if you're a parent watching this, you can show your swimmer and talk it through with them. Now we have some other videos coming up soon. We're going to do one for each stroke, plus we'll have flip turns and open turns, and maybe down the line do some diving work as well. But for ABSC coaching staff, this is Coach Mike, and as always, go Dawgs.